Hey everybody, we are live and welcome to Humpday Hangouts, episode 187. Before we get started today, we've got a couple short announcements, but as always, want to go and say hi to the guys and see how everyone's doing. So we'll start in order on my screen. And Chris, you're first up. How you doing, man?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good deal. So are you traveling? Where in the world is Chris located this week?
I'm in a secret spot in Scandinavia.
It's awesome. It sounds like it's some Dr. Evil hideout or something.
Pretty much.
Good deal. Hernan, how you doing?
That sounded so James Bond, you know. It's funny because we're going through the time zones. Like Chris is later, then I am in, and then think at Marco, and then Bradley, and then you, right? Time zone. I don't know, depending on how. Hey guys, what's up? I'm really good. I'm excited to be here.
Good deal. Good deal. Marco, how you doing?
What's up, dude? I'm working on the first Google My Business webinar.
Ooh.
And so, you know, I'm deep in the lab trying to get it ready. I got some good stuff planned for our first webinar.
Would you say that this is only for people who are members of Local GMB Pro?
I would say not only should they be members of Local GMB Pro, they better be in the Facebook group so they can get the link, because that's the only place it's going to be shared.
Awesome. You guys heard it. So if you haven't joined, go check out Local GMB Pro. If you're dealing with anything local, this is an awesome addition. And if you are already a member, I know we're still missing a few members. We opened up as a bonus the Facebook group. So check your emails. We sent out a notification about that to members only. And Bradley, how are you doing today on this fine day?
Pretty effing stoked about the GMB Pro stuff that's going on, because I've been adding additional training to that the last couple days. I've added several stuff today, and I'm actually out on my own experimenting a bit now. I've been just following Rob and Marco's instructions, really, because they've been in the lab, you know, testing and tinkering and trying to blow shit up and all that. And I've just been applying what they've been teaching, but I've been kind of tinkering around on my own now a little bit too, and finding some really cool stuff to do. And it's just amazing. GMB, like the Google My Business Dashboard, is like they're rolling out new features. Apparently, the new Google My Business Agency Dashboard has just launched. There's a post on Bright Local about it, and something I'm really stoked about. I posted the link on the event page, guys. But the post on Bright Local is, any of you that aren't using Bright Local, I've been talking about them for years. That's the local tracking solution for citations and ranking and all that, rank tracking and all that stuff. And I've been using Bright Local since I opened my agency in 2012. I speak very highly of it because I think it's awesome. And it's very inexpensive, and the reports are great. That's what I do all my client reporting with. Well, in the article about the GMB Agency Dashboard today, Bright Local is working on a tool to be able to schedule posts and everything, GMB posts, right from within the Bright Local dashboard. So very similar to our own GMB auto poster, or from like Sendable, for example, you're going to be able to do this directly in Bright Local too. So those of you that are already managing your clients' reporting through Bright Local, this is just one additional thing, one additional place that you'll or tool that you'll be able to use right from within Bright Local. So that's pretty exciting news. And then, as Marco said, we've got the webinar coming up in a couple of weeks, I guess, for the first webinar for Local GMB Pro. And some of the stuff that he's been sharing with me is just, it's freaking killer, man. So I'm really excited about it. But that's not the only thing. I've also been adding training to the mastermind, guys. Those of you that are in the mastermind, keep going back into the prospecting module and checking often. I've been adding a lot of additional training in there. I just hired a VA full-time to do email prospecting. And so I've added a lot of additional process docs in there for the same training that I'm using to train my VA with, guys. I told you in the mastermind I was going to give you the exact same docs and process training that I train my own virtual assistant. I personally train my virtual assistants with, so that you guys don't have to do it yourself. And all of that is being added to the mastermind website as well. So excited to be here. Lots of good stuff coming up.
Yeah,
awesome,
and real quick, sorry, Anna, but guess what, guys? We use the outsource skimping process to actually get these amazing VAs, which we are hiring. So
yep,
I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, we've now gone levels deep. I had my personal assistant actually that I used a hiring funnel to find, to then use the hiring funnel to hire additional VAs. So I love it. It's like hiring Inception. So it's nice. I don't even have to do it.
That's an outsourced stack.
Yeah, just like, oh man, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So,
Awesome.
well, we talked about it briefly, but I just want to remind people too about Local GMB Pro and some of the services that are coming out that we want people to be aware about. Just real quick, Marco, do you want to can you tell people or remind people about what's going on with that? Because I honestly I don't have it in front of me, and I'll probably lose track. But there's some really cool stuff coming up soon.
Yeah, we've got our auto poster. It's in beta right now. People are testing it out. We're trying to work out some of the issues that always arise with coding. And Chris Philwin, our partner, I know that he'll back me up 100% on this. You cannot write code that's 100% bug free. There's always going to be something that's out of whack, something that clashes, just whatever, and so you just have to work it out. But it's awesome, guys, because we're going to be able to feed a feed, if that makes sense. Feed an RSS feed into the Google My Business listing. So you post on your website, right? So if you're active there, that's going to become a post in Google My Business. And then you can then export an RSS feed to trigger additional IFTT. So it's going to be like a Hydra that you can plug in anywhere you want to add relevance to everything that you're doing. Right now, there's no better entity anywhere. There's no better seed, because I'm always talking about seed sites and seed sets. Nothing than Google My Business. It's verified. It's validated. And you're solidifying it through all of the activity. And Google is really paying attention to this and rewarding people for being active in there. People go in, and I know that they're saying it can't be this easy. Because if it had been this easy, why didn't I think of it? But sometimes as SEOs, as coders, as marketers, we tend to complicate things. Because we've been taught that this is complicated, that this is that not everyone can do this, especially if you don't have the and I'm doing air quotes, the knowledge, right? I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the proper knowledge, so I have to go listen to this guru and this expert and this ninja, and I'm not gonna go there, but they overcomplicate shit, and we boiled it down, and once again we turn SEO on its ear. But you don't need to be an SEO now to do this. You just have to just follow simple instructions. You follow them, you do what you're supposed to do, and then let us show you how to build up power from within, and just use the power of Google against Google. It's been the way that I've been doing things, at least for that 4 or 5 years now. We're coming up on the anniversary of RYS Academy, right? August. It'll be 3 years, and so all of this it keeps coming together. It keeps coming back to the same principle. You use Google to rank in Google to get traffic from Google, and it becomes a self-feeding monster, man. That's what we're onto right now. So it's the poster, it's done for you services, right? We're going to have people who will know how to properly optimize a Google My Business listing, how to do the posts, how to do the images, how to work with images, so that you can concentrate really on building your business and getting more clients for your business and making more money.
Nice. I like it. And as someone, I'm not just saying this as someone who's part of the business, I look forward to actually using the done for you services. So looking forward to this, and hopefully everyone else is too. And last but certainly not least, just wanted to tell you, if you're new to Semantic Mastery, you're just watching us, first of all, thanks for coming to Humpday Hangouts. I put a link on the page. Check out the battle plan. If you're watching it later, you can't find the link. It's battleplan.semanticmastery.com. It's like your SEO blueprint. It's the fastest, best way to get started, whether you're just entering or you've been in the game for a while. It's a great place to get started with us and with having a blueprint for your SEO. Also, we have decided, and we're looking forward to meeting up with a small group, hopefully about 20 to 25 people this fall. We're going to announce dates later. It's going to be in the October-November timeframe. We're still working that out. But we've had a lot of really good feedback, and as usual, it's going to be offered first to our mastermind members. But we are looking forward to doing a 1 to 2.5 day training event and networking, where we can get together and just do some awesome knowledge transfer training and just some awesome good stuff. So I don't know if you guys want to add on to that, or we're definitely going to have some more information coming out later about that, but want to let you guys know that's coming.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. I'm super pumped. I'll put my camera on so that you can see how pumped I am. No, but no, for sure. I'm really pumped about that, because one of the, there's nothing like we can meet online And I think that the magic happens when we meet offline. Like we actually get together. Semantic Mastery is, it's the testimony of that. And every time we get together, we get so much stuff done. When you go to events, you get relationships, you start doing networking, and we got to be there. So I'm super pumped for that, super excited, and it's going to be really good. We're going to get some hot seats doing so that we can advise you on your business, how to grow it, and it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's not going to be super expensive either, guys. This is going to be our first live event, so we're going to keep it relatively inexpensive and small too. We're only going to I think we agreed on no more than 25 people, correct? Yeah, 25. Yeah. There's only going to be 25 seats available, basically, and we want to keep it small intentionally because this is our first one. So we don't want to overwhelm ourselves, to be honest. But I think this will be good. I've been wanting to do it for a couple of years, and I've been to some really amazing events in the past. Last year, I went to a great one. The SEO Rockstars event's a great event, and so that's kind of inspired us to do it as well. And it's more like Hernan just mentioned. It's more about. It's not a money-making thing, really. It's just about being able to kind of build more of a culture, right? And that's what if anybody's followed ClickFunnels, they call it culture, but it's very similar to that, And it's just to try to create some goodwill and kind of create some stronger bonds between us and our best or most avid followers or members or whatever you want to call it. So we certainly hope that some of you guys will come out and join us.
Definitely. Yeah, what you can accomplish in a day or two there, if you haven't been to an event, is definitely amazing. And for me, that, a lot of you, I know you have been. I've either seen you at events by this point in time, or you've been going for years. It's something I avoided for a long time, being something of an introvert. And, it's really an eye-opener several years ago to finally go and just meet people and be like, oh, damn, like these are my people. So good stuff. Awesome. All right. Well, unless you guys have anything else, I think we should jump into it.
Yeah, let's do it. I do want to mention one thing, though, because Marco was mentioning RYS Academy. 3 years. It's 3-year anniversaries coming up since the original launch. And so I had to pull this up just because, guys, this is so incredible that, I applied the RYS Academy methods before they were even fully developed in May of 2015. Let me zoom in on this so you can see it. May 2015. So that's been over 3 years, guys, and I still rank. Look at this, Virginia SEO. That's the Google site. This is all RYS tactics, guys. Nothing else. Ranked #1 in maps. I got a WordPress.com site post ranked with a video image. What? For SEO Virginia as well. Also SEO Agency Virginia, same thing. Big Bamboo Marketing, #1 in maps. Google site, WordPress.com. Virginia SEO, that's actually a company's name, is Virginia SEO. But I've got #1 above maps. I'm in the 3-pack, and I'm also got the WordPress.com. And guys, again, this was, look at this. May 16th is when these were published. See that? May 16th, 2015. So I said May 16th and then stopped. 2016, May 5th, May 5th, 16th to 2015. That's a big deal, guys. 3 years, and I don't do link building to this. I haven't added any additional posts to this site. I haven't done anything. In fact, my own main website, I reduced from an old blog, like a WordPress site that I had built in 2012 when I first launched. I'd never updated the site. I added a couple posts over the years, literally a couple of posts over the years, and that was it. Never updated the site. And I went ahead and redid the site about a year ago now when I joined the Chamber of Commerce, just because my local Chamber of Commerce, just because I wanted to have an updated website. So it's a one-page website now, no blog posts, no internal pages, and I'm ranking #1 in maps. So anyways, and it's all 100% RYS tactics, guys. And that's just incredible. Like 3 years, nothing else has been done, and I'm still outranking all the other SEO agencies in Virginia, which is insane. So this stuff works, man. And that's, Local GMB Pro. That's kind of why we've been pimping that for the last few weeks, guys, because it just works really well at generating leads, which brings us to the first question for today. Aditya, I know I destroyed your name, so I apologize. He says, how's posting in GMB helps in lead generation for local clients? Because it's more of a mobile, it kind of speaks directly to the mobile search algorithm. And so you'll find that the vast majority of traffic and leads that come from the GMB posting and the stuff that we're doing inside the GMB dashboard is going to be mobile traffic. And we've talked about this in the past. In fact, if we have, do we still have the original webinar that we did when we kind of pitched this that we can drive people to? Because if so, I'll just drop the link to that webinar and tag him on this. Have him go watch the webinar, because we discuss how we think it's working. We don't work for Google, so we don't know for sure, but we think we know how it works. Do we have that link, guys, by chance?
Yeah. Sorry, one more time. Which link?
The link to the webinar for the GMB Pro.
Was it the launch?
The launch webinar, yeah.
Yeah, we can grab that.
Okay. And again, guys, you know, we talk about it, whatever pricing was listed in that webinar, we will not honor that now. It's launched. So it's at the launch price, the whatever, the full price. So just be aware that if you're going to watch the replay from the launch webinar, that price is no longer valid. But we stated how very clearly that it was a very limited offer. But the course, nonetheless, is it's worth every freaking penny, regardless. Okay. All right. So quit this house. I always forget your name. Sorry, buddy. But anyways, he says, "Good day, gents. Thanks for the weekly sharing. I appreciate it so very much. You're welcome. How do you tag photos with the area of the business, etc.? What are other ways to optimize a photo for best SEO practices?" Okay, well, it's funny because I was actually recording training today. I added several videos into the GMB Pro course today specifically for that. So I certainly can't reveal it all, but I can give kind of a high-level conceptual overview of some of the things that you can do. Okay, so one of the things you can do is just use photos from the area. You know, first of all, the best thing to do is get original photos. Let me just start off with that. If you can get original photos that are taken on location for the areas that your business covers, right? So if it's a service area business, which means the business goes to the customer's location, not the other way around. A storefront or point of sale business is a type of business where the customers come to the business location, right? So that would be like a store. But a service area business would be like contractors, or kind of like for the case study I'm dealing with, a taxi service, right? So those are called service area businesses. So for those, the best thing to do is to go out, you know, in various locations within the service area and take photos from the phone with the GPS enabled, so that you get the EXIF data, the geodata, literally stamped or embedded directly into the metadata of the file of the photo. Okay, that's the best. However, as I have experienced in the recent weeks with my clients that I'm doing this for, many of my clients have promised me that they were going to get me photos, because, you know, most of my clients are contractors, so they have technicians that go out and do jobs and such. And I tell them, all I need you to do is just take photos when you go to a new job. Take 2 or 3 photos, drop them into a folder that I set up for each one of my clients. And none of them have given, well, let me take that back. I've got one client that has given me about 6 photos. In about a month. And that's it. All the other clients, they keep saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to do it," and they never do it. So I gave up. I quit trying to bug them. Now I'm just going the route of using stock images that I purchase licenses to, okay? And then, you know, credits or whatever from, so I have an account for that. I download the stock photos, and then I upload them, or excuse me, I append a bunch of metadata to them. So you can do that. That's the next best thing. Right, and that's something you can do using EXIF data tools, such as I use GeoSetter. It's a Windows app, a software that you download for Windows. It's called GeoSetter. It's free. GeoSetter.de, I think, is the domain if you want to go download it. And I optimize my images using that. And so essentially, you can go grab geodata, latitude, longitude. You can also grab, and where do you get that? Well, just go to City Center, like go to Google, for example, and search for each one of the locations that are within your service area. If you cover, let's just say your business covers 1 county, okay? Then you can go to like zip-codes.com, type in the county and the state, and it will pull up all of the zip codes and locations that are contained within that county. So extract those location names, extract those zip codes, and then you go do a latitude longitude finder, which again, go to Google and type latitude longitude finder, and then just type in the city name, right, the location name, and hit search, and it'll give you the city center of whatever that location name is, and it'll give you latitude and longitude. Now you can just put all of that into a spreadsheet, and now you have all the data that you need to go start optimizing images with specific location data, right, and then uploading those to GMB. So that's how you do it. You can hyper optimize the images by squeezing in a bunch of keywords and all kinds of other stuff. I pretty much stick to the basics of just location information And then, you know, the latitude and longitude. And then I'll also insert like contact information and URLs in a couple spots. And again, I cover all that stuff in great detail in the course. Does anybody want to comment on that before I move on?
Yeah, the webinar is all about this.
Yep.
And how to get unlimited images, unlimited local, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, the stuff that you were telling me about today, I'm not going to reveal here, but some really ninja stuff, guys. Some great ideas for generating pretty much unlimited content for images and videos too. So we'll talk about that in the webinar. Mark Goodman, what's up, Mark? I met Mark down at the SEO Rockstars event that I was just mentioning. Anyways, he says, I have no problem ranking videos at the top of YouTube. What is the secret to ranking YouTube videos on the first page of Google? That's a good one, Mark. If there's really no secret, it's work, right? The secret is some keywords just are basically like have an aversion to ranking videos for them. What I mean by that is there are certain categories of search queries or terms. Google categorizes certain searches, right? There's commercial intent, there's informational intent, there, you know, various types of categories, search categories. And some categories Google just does not like to display videos for. And I found that, you know, for a lot of competitive local terms, guys, a lot of the times it's difficult to rank videos for them. So the key, the trick is to find longer tail versions or, you know, start hitting some of the suburb areas. I'm just assuming you're talking about local, Mark. I don't know that that's the case. But for local specifically is targeting some of the locations, like instead of the broad metropolitan area, target some of the suburbs or some of the, you know, boroughs or districts or whatever. If you're talking about a county, like I just mentioned previously, you can go in and gather all the different locations contained within that county and optimize the video, you know, the same video for that keyword plus each one of those locations if you want, right? And find out some of them are going to rank easy, some won't. That's just the nature of the game. But what, I mean, as far as ranking like a broader term, and again, I'm speaking about local just because that's, guys, you know, that's pretty much all I do anymore is local. You can build a silo, Mark. If you're not familiar with the YouTube Silo Academy, you bought some of our products. You should have access to it already. You should have access to our bonus site, which is included in there. Go through the YouTube Silo Academy training. It's old, but it still works. The principles are still the same. That hasn't changed at all. But take the broadest term that you're trying to rank for, put that at the top of a playlist, and then start building just like you would be siloing a website. You would take keywords that are longer tail, that are supporting type keywords, and create videos or use the same video optimized for those various supporting keywords, put them all in the same playlist with the internal link from the description up to that top level or the top of the silo. Also link to the playlist, because a playlist is nothing other than a container, right? It's a container that contains videos. So you want to link to the container to juice up the entire container, but also link up to the top level, the top of silo, which is your broadest of terms. One more thing. Once you've published the video, go in and comment underneath as the first comment underneath the video. As soon as it's published, go in and comment and drop a link to the top video that you want to rank. Okay, and then pin that comment to where it's the pinned comment at the top, like it's the first comment, and it will stay the first comment underneath the video. Okay, so now you've got an internal link from the YouTube description going to the top level video in the silo, which is the one you want to rank. Then you've also got an internal link pointing to the playlist, which powers up the entire container. And then you've got a comment link, which is, I believe, a do follow link, as long as it's an internal link, from the video up to your top level video, essentially, right? And now you've got basically every single one of your video URLs are target URLs for link building, and your playlist URL is a target URL for link building. Does that make sense? And so you've got literally a bunch of URLs now that, and by the way, in case you guys weren't aware of this, and this is covered in YouTube Silo Academy, but for each, whenever you put a video in a playlist, you have the original video URL, but then as it's embedded, or once it's added to a playlist, you play the video from the playlist. Now it has its own unique playlist URL for that specific video. So think about how many URLs you can extract from this. And we're not even talking about all the variations of YouTube URLs either. I'm talking about just the straight YouTube URL and playlist URL. You can get a bunch of variations from those. And now you can just do a ton of link building. One other thing, Mark, the last thing I'm going to say about this before moving on is engagement. Engagement is one of the most primary ranking factors for YouTube videos now, not just in YouTube, but also in Google. And so I've talked about this many times, but how to use YouTube ads to rank local videos in Google search, right? Let me repeat that. How to use YouTube or Google AdWords to buy views and clicks that are locally relevant, because you can set all this up through targeting. We've covered this in great detail in the past. You could go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/semantic mastery, click the channel search function, and then type in YouTube ads for ranking local videos or something like that, and just start perusing through. You'll see, and within the last 2 months or so, we did an extended answer on this, on how to do that in Humpday Hangouts. Okay, but it's really, really a great way to do it. I pretty much almost standard operating procedure for all videos that I try to rank for local terms. I go in and set up an AdWords campaign now for it. $1 a day to start with, guys. It's $30 a month. And once I start getting the traction or I get ranked, I back it down to about 50 cents a day, which costs $15 per month to maintain. Okay, it's totally worth it. So I'm going to move on. Good question.
I would just add to what you just said, Video Powerhouse to get embeds. And then we also have our own YouTube Views platform that's in beta testing. Also, it's about to be released. So I would say next couple of weeks it'll be ready. And then you could buy views from us. I mean, you don't have to go and learn how to do YouTube ads and all that stuff if you don't want to. You can just get them from us.
Yeah,
it'll be cheaper than buying from YouTube.
Yeah, and forgive me for not mentioning Video Powerhouse, but yeah, that's certainly part of it. That's part of the whole Silo Academy stuff, or excuse me, YouTube Silo stuff that I do, includes embedding, because you can think about it, guys. If you've created a YouTube Silo, you've got all these other supporting videos, right? Each time you do an embed blast with those, it's very similar to doing link building to any of the URLs, in that you're powering up that specific video, but that video has a link both in the video description and the comment area that links up to the top level video that you're trying to rank, as well as to the playlist, which powers up everything contained within it. So my point is that the embeds plus the backlinks plus the engagement, all of those combined is what you need, Mark, to get ranked. Okay. Piet says, how to schedule a post in WordPress using RSS Masher. That sounds like a really good question to ask Damon Nelson, the developer of RSS Masher. Again, I don't support his product. I know we have promoted it, and it's a great product. And don't get me wrong. It's just, again, I don't support it. So I really can't tell you. There may be a scheduling option inside of RSS Masher. I'd be surprised if there wasn't. I haven't been in RSS Masher in about a year. And it's not because it's not a good tool. It's a great tool. It's just I haven't been using it because I have my VAs and all of our processes that they do everything basically manually. RSS Masher is a great tool, guys, for syndicating, doing feed splicing, and doing some real cool stuff, because you can add, you can embed, inject content into the RSS feed that, if you splice feeds, you can add HTML links, you can add I think you can even embed stuff in there now. It's crazy. It's a great tool. There's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with RSS Masher. There's also another great RSS SEO tool that's Lisa Allen's. It's called Rank Feeder and Rank Sniper, or RSS Sniper, I think it's called, or something like that. I don't use that. I just use the Rank Feeder side of it, which is you creates these co-citation feeds, which is incredibly powerful. It's strictly an SEO tool, though, where RSS Masher, Damon Nelson's tool, can be used for affiliate stuff, for content marketing, for splicing feeds. There's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with it. Okay. Both of them are great tools, by the way. When you're trying to publish many posts, again, RP, I would direct you to ask a question specifically about functionality of RSS Masher to Damon. Okay. Is it still helpful to ranking in 2018? Yeah, it can be. Again, I don't look at RSS Masher as strictly a ranking tool. I look at it as a marketing tool. Okay. Rank Feeder is an SEO tool. Okay, so yeah, you can still use it to help rank as well. But again, I think it's more functional than just for ranking purposes. So is it still relevant or valid? Yes, absolutely. For more than just ranking. If you're looking for just a ranking solution, Rank Feeder is a better bet, in my opinion. Okay. Good question, though. Next, Scott says, what's up, Scott? He says, I'm having a tough time finding a keyword VA to do the keywords for GMB accounts like your keyword research girl. Did you find your keyword VA through Upwork, OnlineJobs.ph, or somewhere else? Probably OnlineJobs.ph. Where'd you find her, Marco?
Yeah, it actually is. Hernan fires up our
Outsource
VA,
kingpin.
our outsource kingpin hiring funnel, and then he does the preliminaries, and then I just get the cream of the crop, and then I do an interview. We found Joe. That way, Joe was awesome.
Yep.
And then we found a keyword research girl the exact same way. Just fired up the funnel, and maybe it could be Scott. If you're advertising for a keyword VA. Your target is wrong. And I always tell Hernan, just get me someone who can follow directions.
That's it.
That's all I want.
Yep.
If they can watch a video and understand that all they have to do, they don't have to think. They just have to do what the video tells them to do. Then that's all I want. Because then she went through Jeffrey Smith's SEO Ultimate Bootcamp, the keyword training in there, the Network Empire Ultimate Keyword Tool, Bradley Benner's keyword training RYS Reloaded style, and then that all gets put together and into actionable silos. So that all you take those keywords and apply them into the silos that the VA sets up for you. But I mean, that's all a process. But the original process is, Hernan, just get me someone who can follow directions.
Yeah. Sorry if I can add real quick. That's the whole thing, right? It doesn't really matter what kind of task they're gonna be doing. Of course, it helps. Like if they're in a customer service position, they need to have really good English, right? Like written and written mostly. If they're into the SEO virtual assistant side of things, so they need to follow instructions. It might help or it might not help that they have some experience. We sometimes check that out, sometimes we don't. But I think, Scott, that it doesn't have to do specifically with where, but what's the process that you put them through. Right. So again, it has to like, you can get people from Upwork, Freelancer, OnlineJobs.ph. Now we hired the hiring funnels for some Spanish VAs that we're looking for, bilingual VAs. So I mean, it's not a matter of where, it's a matter of how you're getting them. And again, it all comes down so that they can follow instructions. Number one, that they are motivated to work with you. That's the whole hiring process funnel. I would say that, yeah, that would be pretty much it. If I may add, Scott, some people in the mastermind, they would hire, they will fire up the hiring funnel, and they will end up with an excess of applicants that are really good, So you can go ahead and ask in the mastermind Facebook group. That's one of the things that I love, by the way. But you can ask in the mastermind Facebook group who has some applicants that they thought that they were really good, that but you cannot just take them because of the bandwidth of your process and your project. I think that there's some people that are ended up with, I don't know, 5 or 7 or even 10 applicants that they found that they're really good, but they cannot hire. So go ahead and ask on the mastermind group, because I'm pretty sure that there's some people in there that are willing to help you.
I think Daryl Dressel had some, the last time it might not have been Daryl, but I think it was. I seem to remember a thread in the mastermind just recently where he had fired up the hiring funnel and had like 6 really qualified candidates, but he only wanted to hire 2 or something like that. So there was like 4 available candidates. And so, as Hernan just mentioned, guys, like, that's Scott, you should have access to Outsource Kingpin, at least as far as I'm aware, right? You're a mastermind member. Go through it, man. I'm telling you, it's incredible. As Hernan just found out, because he fired it up for trying to find some bilingual VAs. It was a little bit more difficult looking for Spanish VAs than it was for Philippines VAs, but it works like magic for Philippines VAs because, like, we have found, I mean, shit, I think between all of us now, we've got like 30 or 35 VAs, maybe even more than that. It's crazy. And all of them have been basically all found and hired through the Outsource Kingpin hiring funnel.
Yes.
So,
yes, if I may add, I think it has to do with these specific, because it's like the first time that we have had some issues hiring people. Mm-hmm. Not some issues, but some delays. I think it has to do with the websites not being ready to take on this kind of funnel. We managed to work it out, but it took us a little bit longer. Yeah, I think that the people in the Philippines are so used to work remotely, and the websites are making that easier. But it works like crazy. It works like magic, anyways. So
yeah. And just to mention real quick, you know, that's what's so good about it, guys, is the fact that, you know, as Marco just said, most of the time we're not looking to hire skilled help, right? Because we're going to train them in the exact processes that we want, in the exact way that we want them done, right? And that's the key to it, guys, because the problem with hiring skilled, now don't get me wrong, there are times when you're going to need to hire skilled help, like a coder, for example, or a programmer or something like that, which I'll do. And typically when I'm going to look for skilled help, skilled labor, I'll go to Upwork, and I will post a job that is only viewable by invitation. In other words, it's not a publicly posted job. I will go I'll screen candidates that are, you know, in Upwork, that have profiles in Upwork. I'll go hand select a handful of them and then send them an invitation to bid on the job or to review the job, right? That for skilled work. But for the most part, our VAs that we hire on salary, which are full-time positions, we're going to train them. So we don't look for skilled help. And so again, most of the posts that I do for whenever I need to hire another VA is I'll post, you know, SEO virtual assistant, you know, looking for seeking SEO virtual assistant, or seeking virtual assistant, or seeking administrative help, or something like that. So I'm not talking about need a keyword research person. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to train them with processes, which, again, all this is taught in Outsource Kingpin, but exactly how I produce the training. Any of you guys have ever seen my process docs? They all look the exact same. Like, there's no difference. Like, all I do is record the training in a video, and then I go back and I basically transcribe the training and the video into a Google Doc. That's a bulleted Google Doc, like a list, basically, numbered and bullets. And that's how all of my process docs look. And it works really well, because now anything that I can do, I can train somebody to do using that exact same method. So anybody that says that, you know, they don't have time because they're overwhelmed with work, or they can't outsource because nobody can do it as good as them, no, it's because you just haven't taken the time to document how you do it. That's it. Okay. And guys, I don't always listen. I don't always drink my own Kool-Aid, right? There are certain functions of my job that I just have not ever outsourced because I did not want to relinquish control. And like, it was just the first of this year, in January of this year, that I finally outsourced client reporting. I'd been doing that myself throughout my entire digital marketing career. And it was just eating up, you know, 2 to 3 days at the beginning of every month for me. And I just continued to do it. And I finally outsourced that in January. And what a load off, because I got 2.5, 3 days back every single month now. So again, it's something that highly recommend you guys get into doing, Scott. Sam, it's funny, Scott and Sam, we met both of them in Portland at the same event, the live Humpday Hangout in Portland. Sam says, for a niche site with a very narrow focus, rather than building multiple silos, could I get away with putting my main 2,000 plus word article on a static homepage and try to rank the homepage and having 2 to 3 category pages with supporting blog posts? Yeah, absolutely, Sam. If it's a narrow focus, why not? Right? Absolutely. By the way, guys, anybody that says, you know, I know there's been training that there's so many different thoughts out there about silos, and you have to have 4 or 5 silos on a site for it to be a properly siloed site and all that. That's bullshit. I mean, maybe there's some data to back some of that stuff up, or maybe in some really competitive terms and stuff that may be the case. But I know I've got sites that are just mono silos. Essentially, it's one singular silo of the site, and that's it. And so there's more depth to the silo, but not width, right? Width would be additional categories. Depth is additional supporting posts within one silo. And so I've got we've got one of the case study sites that I built for Masterclass when we were doing the Masterclass is still ranking #1 in maps now. And it's a mono silo site. It's one singular silo site with, I think, 5 pages and which are subcategories, and then like 1 or 2 posts for each subcategory. And that's it. And it's been ranking #1 in maps for shit over 2 years now. So, and I haven't done a damn thing to it. So anyways, next would be AJ. He says, which website service do you recommend for real estate agents? Also, what features should we look for or ask to allow a syndication network to be built? Okay, I can't answer website platforms for real estate agents. I couldn't tell you because I don't deal with them. We have plenty of members though that do work in real estate that could probably comment on this event page. So those of you, Greg, Damon, you know, a number of you that are Tawa, if you're on, any of you guys that are watching that are in the mastermind that I know are in real estate, if you guys want to jump in and help AJ with some recommendations, that'd be great. Also, what features should we look for or ask to allow a syndication network to be built? Well, if some of these guys can recommend website platforms for real estate that have RSS feeds and a blog, you could just use that, right? If not, then what I recommend doing is, and typically whenever we run across any type of site that we need, that like for clients or whatever, any projects that aren't the primary site or the blog is not held on WordPress, then our go-to method is to install WordPress on a subdomain of the root domain. So in other words, if you're going to go with a real estate website platform solution, right, that does not have a blog and an RSS feed function, then I would recommend that on a subdomain of that, the domain that you build the website on, so whatever it may be, I would put a blog.subdomain on it and install WordPress and use that subdomain in the WordPress installation as your content distribution engine, right? Because you can still accomplish the same stuff having the blog on a subdomain. And that gives you all of the functionality of WordPress without having to try to integrate the real estate website platform as, you know, into a syndication network and all that, because sometimes that can be difficult if it doesn't have an RSS feed. Okay, so again, just install WordPress on a subdomain, good to go. All right, Craig says, the GMB Pro Facebook group's live and well, and there's activity in there already, a lot of activity already. It's been kind of like a whirlwind of activity for the last couple of days. So Craig, reach out to support if you haven't got access already. Nigel says, good day, gents. What's up, Nigel? He says, what's a good pitch to sell the value of local GMB strategy? For instance, what deficiencies should you point out to help close prospect? Can you review example of how you address any metrics or proof? Yeah, Nigel, all I'm doing for proof is just showing GMB insights of accounts that we've applied this method to. That's it. That's it. That's all the proof I need. So to keep it simple. Not talking to you directly, Nigel, but keep it simple, stupid, right? So KISS, the keep it simple strategy. How do you show proof? You just show Google Insights that where this method it worked really well, and just show like, hey, here's the number of times you've been given impressions. This is how many times people have engaged. They've clicked through to your website or clicked through to a website or phone calls or driving directions if it's a storefront. You can show all of that. And Insights, guys, as GMB continues to evolve, which they're adding new shit all the time, Insights is becoming more, there's more data now, right? And they're going to be rolling out new metrics and KPIs and things like that we'll be able to measure or monitor within GMB Insights as well. Some really cool stuff we just saw this week. In fact, in the GMB Pro, I think it was Greg Drebert, it was posted some insights reporting showing like the questions and answers. Those of you that are local guides, you guys know if you're a local guide, you know you're probably getting prompted on your phone often whenever you're out and about in town to answer questions about locations that you're next to or that you're visiting, right? Well, those are now questions and answers, like the results of those questions that GMB is asking are now being displayed in Insights too, like to the business owner. So the business owner can get a better idea of like kind of sentiment is coming from people answering questions about their business. So it's, I forget, I think maybe it was Marco that mentioned it in the thread that Greg was started about this in the GMB Pro Facebook. This is Google crowdsourcing data for GMB, right? Marco, you want to comment on that? Is Marco still here?
I was talking into a muted mic. Sorry. As far as how you sell this, I'm sorry. That's the question, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to talk about also the crowdsourcing. Yeah. Google crowdsourcing for data right now.
Yeah, but I was kind of talking about that while you were talking to me. Okay. I really want to focus on that because we tend to complicate things when we pitch it. And simple really works. You show, as Bradley said, results. And if someone can't react to that, what was it that you said? If someone sees that and like they don't get excited,
Their posts are likely dead.
Yeah, I mean, please, and you just move on because there's someone there that else. Oh, okay, I want that for me. Most people react that way.
Yep.
Now
that's how I pitched it and sold it to my three of my clients. Just sorry, Marco, but just real quick, the first three that I pitched clients of mine that were existing clients. That's all I did was I just showed GMB Insights screenshots and I said, look at this. I can absolutely quantify the results of this service within 30 days. Try it out. And two out of three of them jumped on it. The only reason why the third one didn't was because he's overwhelmed with calls right now. He literally asked me to help him throttle his call volume down. I'm not kidding you. But anyways, go ahead, Marco.
No, I mean, the training is simple because it's a simple concept. The pitch should be just as simple because, again, what you're selling is so simple. This is what you get. If I do this, this is what happens. And so it's cause and effect relationship, and it's really on a pay. You're going to produce or you don't get paid, right?
That's it.
And you keep it that simple.
Yep. That's the other thing, Nigel. Remember, keep it that way. You know, say, look, you know, I like the no contract idea, although I may have to start using some contracts for some stuff that I'm doing. But I've pretty much always run my agency without any contracts. I haven't on occasion used contracts when it was required by the client, usually for bigger companies. But most of the smaller companies that I work with, I just tell them flat out, look, there's no contract. You can cancel at any time. If I'm producing results for you, you should be happy to. You should want to continue paying me so that you can continue getting those results. If I'm not producing, you shouldn't be committed or obligated to continue paying me. We should be able to just, you know, part. So anyways, example of how to set up a G-Site landing page quickly for conversions. And can you show example? Well, first of all, I can't show an example. I'm not sure what you mean about a G-Site landing page. If you're talking about just setting up a Google site to look like, to act as like a landing page, really that's just design element stuff. And Nigel, honestly, all you need to do is just go do some Google searches for like high converting local landing pages type stuff. And you can look at, there's been a lot of research done on this stuff, guys. So just go look at some of the research and you'll see that there's pretty much only a handful of basic elements that should be on a landing page that are set up for conversions. And a lot of times just you can mimic like an AdWords landing page, like what they consider to be the best type of landing page for lead generation for local businesses that are running AdWords. Just mimic something like that, right? Model something like that. That's all that you need to do. I mean, there's a reason why most landing pages look very similar, guys, because they work. They've been tested to death. Okay. All right. We're going to keep on moving. Don says, with the new local GMB strategy, I've been acquiring more and more addresses to verify. Very good, Don. From an SEO point of view, have you noticed any difference in effectiveness when you remove the street address from the NAP service area business? We'll see, as per Google's terms of service or, you know, their recommendations for service area businesses, you should not display the address. It should always be checked or whatever, the box unchecked or whatever to display the business address. And again, that's per Google's own terms of service for service area businesses. So I've just about, I don't know, I might have one or two that are actually displaying the address, but there were projects that I've never followed through with. So pretty much all of my lead gen properties or clients that are service area businesses, I basically right off the bat, just so you know, typically when I register the business, if I'm setting up the GMB listing for the first time and I have to get it verified, then I will make sure that the address is displayed when I first set up the listing to request the postcard. But then once the postcard and the verification occurs, once I have that PIN number or the PIN or whatever, and I enter that and verify it and it becomes a published listing, then the first thing I do is uncheck that box to display the address, because that's, again, per their recommendations. I know some people have experimented with that, and even for service area businesses, they'll show the address and it will get better results for ranking, but I don't want to lose. I also, remember, a lot of these are spammed addresses. In other words, they're PO boxes. And I don't want a competitor looking at Google Maps and seeing very clearly by just clicking the satellite button that it's a post office, or even if it's got a map pin, you know, basically sitting right on top of my pin and it shows as a U.S. post office. So I want to hide that address so that that doesn't occur. Okay. I mean, you know, a competitor could go do a quick Google search for the business name plus the phone number and find other citations that are going to list the address, but I don't want to make it stupid easy for them, right? Make them work for it at least. So, Don, I really can't answer that. Maybe somebody else can tell you. I wouldn't mess with it. I would not show the street address for service area businesses unless the customers also come to that location, which that is an exception, and that's also covered in the Google Help files. All right.
For SEO, if he's doing RYS reloaded, he needs to display the address so that our builders can find the address and build the stack and hook everything up to the address. Once that process is done and he can hide it, or once he's done building the drive stack, he can hide the address. But you need that drive stack, and you need it for a very specific purpose. If you're in RYS Reloaded, read the black book. It'll tell you why you need to display the address. It's all explained in there. But yes, there is an SEO point of view on this. Once that's done and taken care of, you can go ahead and hide it, and you should be okay.
Yep. James says, I've yet to take Local GMB Pro course, but I gather what I can from Humpday Hangouts. That's what a lot of people do, James, and we encourage that, guys. You know, I mean, we talk about that a lot. Like, I mean, Mohammed Maki, one of our star members right now of the mastermind, it's been amazing. Like, he came and just asked questions every single week. Nigel's another one. Nigel's in our mastermind. We were just talking to Nigel. He, same thing, came and asked questions every week and applied what he learned and took action, both Mohammed and Nigel, and got their business generating enough revenue to where they came and joined the mastermind. That's awesome. So again, James, keep doing what you're doing, man. You'll get there. Okay. That's what we encourage you to do that. He says, I came across GMB Agency Dashboard in my Reddit newsfeed a couple of hours ago. I know it has just been released, but I was curious to know what your thoughts are on it. Will it benefit SEOs doing local GMB, or will it give another Google another footprint to observe? No, look, I haven't had, again, this was just announced today. I just posted this link right here, just below your comment, James, about Bright Local's post on it as well. So none of us have had time to play with it yet. We will be talking about it more once we have a little bit more experience with it. But I don't see it as being a trap of any sort. I see it as being a useful tool. Okay, if you're going to be managing people's Google My Businesses for them, and they give you an agency, it's kind of like having an AdWords Manager account. I have an AdWords Manager account because I manage multiple AdWords accounts. So it just makes it a lot easier. It's not, I don't think it's a trap of any sort or anything like that. I think it's they're just trying to improve their processes, right? Again, I know Marco doesn't think the same way I do, but I've always looked at Google as my business partner and not my enemy. Marco's like, fuck Google all the time. But, you know, I personally, I've never felt that way. So, honestly, like I would use the tool I just haven't, I have not tried it out yet, but I will be over the coming weeks. Jim says, when using Google Sites for lead generation and or boosting client sites, what percentage of the sites are placed in your main Google G Suite account? Are you spreading them across many accounts? For Google Sites, yeah, I do. I would create the main Google site, which will be the branded Google site under the main account. But everything else that I'm using specifically just for link building purposes, I do all those under persona accounts, guys. Keep your account separate. Okay? Keep your account separate, guys. You want to remember, you want to keep your branded properties, the profiles that own the branded properties, you want to keep them as clean as possible. So do all your other activities, spammy or non-spammy, right? Anytime you're building Google sites for the specific purpose, the sole purpose of ranking, using for link building and to help rank other properties, right? That's spam, guys. I don't care whether you like that word or not, it's spam. So keep your spammy activity outside of your main Google branded profiles, right? Which you definitely want to keep that out. Keep them separate. Guys, you can buy phone verified Google accounts for dirt cheap. You can use those accounts to set up Google sites and do all the spammy stuff that you want to do. Okay.
Yeah, my answer to this is none, because I get them from our own builders, and what they turn over is the Gmail account, and we have a specific way. Yeah, we make our main account the manager of that drive stack and the G site and whatever. so that we never again have to go in there and touch that drive stack. It doesn't need to. If it does, then I just turn it back to the builders and I say, just give me more folders and files and whatever. But and the main purpose for that is not only to protect the account, but also you don't want to overburden the one Gmail account or that one Drive account with the script that we run. And if you run multiple scripts inside one account, you are going to get banned. You're going to wake up and everything's going to be gone. Who's going to tell you, we don't appreciate you using our resources like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Spread your eggs across many baskets. Let's put it that way. All right. Like I will create a branded Google site underneath the main profile for that business. But like Marco said, when I order a Drive stack for that business, that's a separate Google site that gets built. That's not the, I don't even, like, I will include the branded Google site that I created under the branded profile. I'll include that URL as one of the target URLs for the Drive stack, but that's not the Drive stack Google site, right? That Google site for the Drive stack is created underneath the persona or the persona profile that was used when the entire Drive stack was created, right? So again, keep those things separate, and there's a reason for it, and it's to eliminate any potential, spammy penalties from Google for your business profile. Dan, what's up? Danny says, is there a difference in effectiveness as far as rankings go for having the blog page in the website versus having the blog page link out to an established blog website the business has had for years? Okay, so basically your blog is on an external domain, right? A separate domain. Blog page in the website versus having the blog page link out. Okay, I think I know what you mean. So if you've got a money site, and like, for example, in the navigation menu on the money site, you've got a blog button or blog link, right? That would typically go to the blog role within the same domain, right? The blog index page. However, you're saying, could it link to an external blog? Yeah, I've got a couple of clients where that's the case. And so there's a few things that you can do. You can do like canonical tags from the blog, which is on another domain, to point back to the main money site. You can do that. You can also use the other blog to, certainly just do contextual internal, contextual links like you typically would for normal link building purposes back to the money site. So, I mean, there's a number of things that you can do for that. If it's an established blog, though, like as long as the brands are associated, like as long as those two domains are associated with that brand, which you can do a lot of that stuff with structured data too, it should be okay. Obviously, it would be better to have the blog on the domain itself, but I know in some situations, in some unique situations I have where it's very similar. Blog has been on an external domain, and we've still been able to make it work. Okay. The real question is, where will the relevance go? I'm thinking the GMB site and the blog site. Thanks. Yeah, I would just make sure everything is really like branded well, everything is interlinked well, so that Google understands that those two domains are both part of that entity, right? And again, you can accomplish a lot of that with structured data, right? Something else you maybe I want to do is, remember in GMB, guys, you have the website and then you have like the appointment setter URL. You might be able to squeeze that one in there too, right? The blog URL. Try that and see. It might work. Okay, we're almost done. Sweet. We're almost out of time too. It's just worked out. Thanks for the information about VAs. I will fire up an outsource funnel ASAP. Yeah, Scott, remember you're in the mastermind, so if you have any questions about that, please feel free. We'd be happy to. And again, a lot of our members in the mastermind have used it very successfully. So there will be plenty of people to jump in and help you out if you need it.
Yes, and Scott, if you need any, any kind of walkthrough, or any kind of, specific advice, just, make a post on the Facebook group, tag me, and I'll tell you what we do. Like, I tell you what I do, what I'm looking for when I'm interviewing these folks and whatnot, so that you can have a better understanding. But yeah, you should have plenty of results, like, plenty of pre-screened VAs on the mastermind group itself. So
yeah. Yeah, so you might not even have to go through that process. I mean, it would be good for you, Scott, if you're going to be building your team, to go through that process and learn it and set it up for your own business anyways. But my point is, if you just need a quick, like if you just need to hire a VA like right away because you're overwhelmed or whatever, again, there's probably going to be people that already have screened very qualified candidates, but and they'll have some that they could direct your way. Okay. Okay, Don, apparently we answered your question. So good. Well, thanks everybody for being here. This worked out on the money, 5 p.m. Wow. So we don't have any other webinars this week, do we, guys?
I think that is it.
Okay. Yes.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for everybody for being here. We'll see you all next week. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.